Hello and welcome to the Encore Research Group podcast, where we encourage community research and education with weekly podcasts. I'm your host, Benton Loeyball, and this week we're talking about the possible effects of cannabis, also called marijuana, on migraines. We've talked about migraines before, but it might be time to clear the smoke around a common idea that the active ingredients in cannabis, commonly known as marijuana, help with migraines. According to neurologist and medical cannabis expert Dr. Ethan Russo, cannabis has been used for headache relief for at least several thousand years and was one of the primary headache medications prescribed in America until the passage of the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. The Tax Act removed marijuana from the National Register and made it unavailable for medical use by 1941. Use dropped even further in the 1970s when it was reclassified as a Schedule I drug. Recently, there's been a budding interest in the use of marijuana for headache and migraine mitigation. This is accelerated by grassroots movements relaxing state laws against marijuana and renewed medical and recreational use of cannabis. With over one-third of surveyed medical marijuana users stating headache as the primary ailment, it's time to answer the burning question: does it work? Before we answer that, let's review how migraines work and how the active ingredients in marijuana might interact with these systems. Migraines are more than just a headache. They're a complex neurological disorder caused by complicated interactions between different brain systems. They are a serious worldwide problem affecting around 1 billion people. Critical to migraines is a disruption of homeostasis, the systems that keep the brain stable. All sorts of systems get out of whack, resulting in varied symptoms people have during a migraine episode. In a previous article, we discussed the areas of the brain that are affected, but when discussing marijuana, we're really only interested in one system, the endocannabinoid system. Cannabinoid refers to the compounds found in cannabis, and endo indicates that these are produced by the body. The endocannabinoid system is a signaling system found all over the body. It uses molecules like anandamide or AEA and 2-AG to interact with migraine pathways. Low levels of AEA have been found in people who suffer from migraines. This may be due to low production or because the body is degrading AEA too quickly. Cyclooxygenase, or COX, degrades AEA and is inhibited by anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen and aspirin. To avoid getting too in the weeds, we'll return to COX later. Let's first get a rolling start on how marijuana works. Cannabis is a plant from the Cannabaceae family. Historically, it has been consumed primarily by smoking, but new methods such as edibles and tinctures have become increasingly popular. In addition, topical treatments are popular and can be used in combination with other methods. Topical treatments activate cannabinoid receptors in the skin and act without intoxicating effects. There are several different chemicals contained in the plant, including over 125 cannabinoids. The two most significantly psychoactive and well-studied are delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, and cannabidiol, or CBD. THC seems to act on the same receptors as AEA, as well as many others. It may help correct imbalances from low AEA production, but likely won't correct imbalances caused by excessive COX degradation. Some scientists speculate that constant, high-dose THC might actually induce COX degradation as the body tries to restore balance. THC also has the potential for many side effects, including dizziness, dry mouth, and drowsiness. There are also potential mental side effects such as euphoria, paranoia, and anxiety. CBD is relatively tamer. It barely interacts with the cannabinoid receptors, but instead balances cerebral activity. CBD stabilizes the function of sodium channels, which are critical to neural function and may impact migraine headaches. It is generally free of side effects, but can cause fatigue and sedation at higher doses. In addition, CBD may impact the metabolism of other drugs and medications. So, how do we know if marijuana actually helps with headaches? Well, we could start just by asking people, but anecdotal evidence is all over the place. Some people say it's a miracle drug, some claim it has no effect, and some find the side effects to be too strong to continue or start use. With marijuana being illegal at the federal level, most scientists have relied on retrospective studies that looked at past use or asked people about their use through surveys. These methods found good evidence that marijuana decreased migraine severity and frequency. They also found decreased use of other medications, indicating that the condition was better controlled. These effects appear to diminish over time. Unfortunately, surveys and retrospective studies are prone to bias and impossible to control for other extraneous variables. The best evidence, then, is a randomized, placebo-controlled, blinded clinical trial. Luckily, the first peer-reviewed clinical trial looking at marijuana use was published this year. This trial blazed new paths. It was published by the Journal of Neurology and had patients take a medical dose at the onset of a migraine. Patients were treated with vaporized medication containing either 6% THC, 11% CBD, a combination of 6% THC and 11% CBD, or a placebo flower containing no psychoactive substances. The results were clear. At 1 hour, all THC and/or CBD substances lowered pain significantly more than placebo. At 2 hours and beyond, the treatment containing both THC and CBD was the only one that showed significantly better outcomes for pain relief and main symptom relief. There were no serious adverse effects during this study, and somewhere around 1/3 of patients had not used marijuana before. It should be noted that side effects may still deter many people. This study has given the green light for further investigations of cannabis and its use in combating migraine headaches. As restrictions around marijuana continue to relax for medical settings, migraine sufferers may find greener pastures ahead. Thanks for joining us on this week's episode. If you'd like to know more, all of our sources are linked in the podcast description. You can also visit our website at encoredocs.com. That's ENCOREDOCS.com. Encore Research Group has been involved in clinical research for over 25 years. We have 7 clinical research sites across Florida, including 2 Phase 1 units. If you're in Florida, join us at sites in Northeast Florida and on the Nature Coast. If you're outside of Florida or South Georgia and are interested in joining a clinical trial, head over to clinicaltrials.gov. For more great content, including discussions by physicians and clinical research experts, check out the MedEvidence podcast. My name is Benton. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week.